Hello, everybody, and welcome to our live studio show here on MXGPTV.com with me, Paul Malin, and Lisa Leyland. We are at round 6 of the FIA Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of Galicia in northwestern Spain, and literally just a few hours up the road north from where we were a week ago in Portugal. Coming up on our studio show today, we have, well, a guy who was pretty impressive in MX2 last weekend, rides the KTM SB racing machine, Jens Walvoort. We've got the MXGP winner coming up as well, Pauls Jonass on the standing construct Honda, and then the legend, the GOAT, Stefan Everts, coming in to talk to us as well. Before we go anywhere, though, let's catch up with my little wing ting. Lisa, great to see you. First of all, have you dried out yet? And what do you think to the venue here in Lugo?
Yeah, I have dried out. It's all right for you, making fun of me in your little cubby hole with your hot chocolate. Yes, I've dried out. Thank you very much. And I'm really enjoying it here. It's like another home GP, but Galicia is a really nice part of the world. It's very green. It's very scenic. And yeah, I'm loving it so far. Beautiful location. Yeah.
Should we meet our first guest?
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's. Right. So joining us right now then, and from MX2 last weekend, Jens Walvoort from KTM SB Racing. So Jens, great to see you. And yeah, first of all, congratulations on your performance last weekend. We'll talk about that later on in the show. But first of all, for people who are maybe not so familiar as to who you are, where are you from? How old are you? Obviously, we know you're from the Netherlands, but which part of the Netherlands?
I'm from the Netherlands, yeah, in Etteleur. It's next to Breda, so it's in the south of the Netherlands.
And how old are you?
I'm 20 years old, just turned 20.
And in terms of riding bikes and things like that, how long have you been riding? You know, when was your first ride kind of thing?
Yeah, I've been riding since I was 4 years old. My father, he bought a bike for my brother, but my brother didn't really like it. And I started riding until the fuel was gone. So yeah, then we continued riding.
You got yourself a new present.
Yeah, exactly.
And how did you actually get started? Because was your dad a racer or anyone else in the family race or anything like that? Where's the connection?
My dad was not a racer, but my dad, he had a cousin and he was racing. And he always liked racing, but unfortunately he couldn't race. So he just let us race, and we like it a lot.
Okay, well, you were 19th in the EMX 250 last year. Your best overall result was at Matterley at the last round, where you were 9th overall. You had 2 10th place finishes. Now you're in MX2. Were you nervous making that step?
Yeah, for sure I was nervous, but we thought it was the best step up to MX2 to learn the most. And yeah, last year we started working with Mark de Reuver, and he also says it's the best to start in MX2 and learn a lot in MX2. So yeah, we are making progress in trainings. It's going actually really good, and we want to build every race and every race be better.
Well, obviously, as we mentioned, you ride for KTM SB Racing. It's a private team. I was actually impressed when I went by there yesterday to see the big rig and everything, and you're the only rider in that team. But moving up into MX2, your best performance by far last weekend in Portugal, and it started with the Ram qualifying race. You're running up front, you know, in the sharp end, came away from there in 6th place. How big a deal was that for you when you crossed the line and just thought, man, 6th place? Did it feel amazing? I would imagine so.
Yeah, it felt really good, but I didn't, in the beginning, I didn't knew I was like in the front, because everywhere were bikes and all the stuff. It was chaos. But yeah, P6 was really good. The bike was smoking a bit, so in the end I was going a bit easy to save the bike. But we finished on P6 and it was really good. It felt really good, and yeah, on P6 we had an interview with Lisa and all the stuff. It feels really good.
And then obviously race 1 happened, you know, and we have that here. Obviously finishing, what do? You started 6th, finished 10th, so a top 10 finish.
Yes.
Was that more of a big deal than the P6 and the Ram qualifying race? Because everybody still looks at the races on Sunday as the races.
Yeah, Sunday is more important, of course. And I was feeling really good, but unfortunately the bike was getting really hot. And then I was losing clutch, so I had to go more easy. And then we finished on P10. And P10 was really good. I've never been in the top 10 in the MX2 before. So yeah, it was really good.
I actually, just picking up on something you said before, you know, you know, you're not that old, as you said, but just to be mindful of the fact that the bike was maybe overheating and these kind of things. It shows you're quite an intelligent rider as well, because a lot of riders would, you know, go full gas.
Yeah, I learn a lot from my brother Suf, so he learns me a lot.
Yeah.
And actually, like you mentioned, we spoke, didn't we? And I feel that I must be your lucky charm, because after we spoke, you actually finished 5th in race 2 and 6th overall. So I'd like to take a little bit of credit for that.
Maybe I should thank you.
Hang on, that's not all about you.
No, but hang on, I'm not just saying, but has any of what happened last weekend really sunk in yet?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, everything feels really good, and yeah, just want to do the same this weekend, actually.
And maybe we can speak again. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows?
You know, stranger things happen.
Well, look, obviously, you know, rain and mud is a real level playing field for everybody, you know, and you can sort of say, yeah, your 6th overall might have been because of the rain or because you got good mud riding skills. Either way, you can't take away the fact that it was a great weekend for you and for the team. Personally, it's great to see privateers, you know, coming into that top 5, top 6 every now and again. But has that given you a massive confidence boost for the rest of the season, knowing now that actually, you know, whether it was wet, doesn't matter, maybe I'm ready for MX2, and the confidence level is, you know, starting to grow a bit?
Yeah, for sure. I think I can ride in the front and battle with the factory guys. And yeah, we will see this weekend where we end up, and the rest of the season. I think we can build and yeah, be in front.
Yeah, and just obviously before you came in, we were just looking at the track, talking about the track. First time here for you.
Yes.
It looks like a great track in terms of the location and everything, but the surface looks quite strange. It looks like there's maybe 2 or 3 different surfaces, hard pack in places, loamy, a little bit of sand. Obviously, we had overnight rain, so a little bit muddy in places. What's it like to ride? And I imagine when it starts to dry out, it will get a little bit better.
Yeah, now it was quite muddy, and on some places it was quite soft. But I think it gets dry really quick and more better, and we go faster every session, I think.
How important will the start be, do you think, in terms of getting a good time practice and then a good qualifying place for the heat race?
Yeah, I think every race it's really important the start, but on this track I think it's even more important. So we're gonna have a good start.
Cool. On the calendar coming up, what tracks have you ridden and what tracks are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to Lommel. I really like it.
Why is that? You like the sand?
I like the sand.
Yeah. So you think the confidence that you have from Portugal, you could take that automatically to Lommel and
yes, for sure.
Take a top 10 overall again?
Yes, for sure.
Absolutely. Wow, I love your confidence, and all the best to you and the team owner as well. And yeah, hopefully we get to see you up at the sharp end on a much more regular basis.
Yeah, thank you. For sure, I just want to thank my team for everything they do for me, and my sponsors, my family. I just want to thank everyone.
Cool. Well, look, it's a pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to have you in here, and keep up the good work. And I'm sure those results will keep coming.
Thank you.
No
Thanks,
problem.
Jens.
Well, look, our second guest is getting ready to come in and join us now, Pauls Jonass. Before we meet him, though, let's take a look back at episode 3 from Rock and Riola of Behind the Gate. Fantastic little series we've got going on this year. And this is about the women in action on that particular weekend a few races ago.
I'm quite confident. I'm also still improved a lot on the sand. Yeah, I think I was already fast enough last year, and now my bike is a lot faster than the one I had last year. So I think if I get 2 good starts or 2 okay starts, then I'll be able to win. But it's not that easy, unfortunately. So yeah, we need to see and hope to not get too much bad luck this weekend.
Hello and a very good morning to you in Riola Sardo, Sardinia, the MXGP of Sardinia. It's going to be a challenging test for the riders.
Put some makeup.
Oh.
Sardinia is obviously the complete opposite as Spain. Like Spain is ruts, but Sardinia is I think the toughest track out there. In Spain was good, I got the 3rd overall, so it was a consistent weekend, but I'm motivated to do better in Sardinia.
Let's grab a few words with our current points leader, Daniela Guillen.
I think I'm training hard in the sun in Spain, so yeah, I have good feeling, and here I think this track is special about me because I do my first podium here, so I'm really happy to come here.
I really like the track here. Of course, it's sand, so that makes me feel a little bit more home. Last year, I got in the second motor with a bad start. I got up to third, so that was still okay, but not good enough. So yeah, this year we're going for the win.
Courtney Duncan eyeing up that first turn. Can she find her way to the podium? +20 minutes +2. WMX race 2 here at Rio Lasado. Welcome back to our live studio show here on MXGPTV.com with me, Paul Malin, and Lisa Leyland. Our second guest joins us now, Pauls Jonass from Standing Construct Honda MXGP. And, man, what a fantastic weekend he had last weekend. And I know you were on our studio show round 2 in Spain earlier this year after finishing 5th in the first round in Argentina. We'll talk about Portugal in a moment. Congratulations, by the way.
Yep.
But coming into Portugal, those first 4 rounds had been pretty good because the consistency was there, and I guess that was a big thing for you coming into this year, is to find that level of consistency.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, that was the goal starting the season, just to be consistently there, you know, like I know I can go fast, but I just, in the past I've been crashing quite a lot and injured. So the goal was to be consistent, always be up there. You know, it's hard to battle with the top guys. You know, in every GP there is someone who's really, really fast. So the goal was just to be consistent, try to be as close as to the podium, top 5s as possible. And it actually worked out, you know, okay, like for me the worst race was in Arco, which was 9th place overall. And like, okay, it wasn't great, but still I didn't crash, didn't make any big mistakes, and was happy about that. And then just like the goal was always to keep building. And yeah, of course, win in Portugal was something amazing. Like, yeah, I think no one expected that, even not me. But yeah, sometimes good things happen when you work hard.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Portugal for the Saturday. It was a tough day, tough conditions on Saturday. A difficult one for you because you went from 4th to 8th, then back up to 5th again. How was it for you, that qualifying race day?
Yeah, somehow, like in qualifying race, I got a good start. I was 4th, so I was just somehow, okay, I think Jeffrey passed me, then Romain passed me. I was like, okay, just try to get in rhythm, but it was really difficult. Somehow just didn't get a rhythm, and then had a small crash.
That was in the waves, huh?
Yeah, in the waves on the top, so it was not a big crash, but unfortunately, like with the crash, I broke off my handguard, which was touching the front brake. Yeah. So I was struggling with that for a lap just to get the handguard back in position. So lost some position, lost some time, and just after slowly getting better in rhythm, riding a little bit better, but still finishing 5th. Was happy about 5th place, but not really with my riding. So I said, okay, if you're not happy with riding, I still can finish 5th. It's good, you know. It's better than to ride all your head and be in top 3 maybe.
Well, starts were important that weekend, and you had a good one in race 1, but it was a bit of a waiting game for you, wasn't it? Because it was like you started in 5th, and then it was only on the final lap that you took 2nd. It was crazy, wasn't it, that first race?
Yeah, first race was really crazy. Like, I actually got a good start, and straight away I think I was riding 4th, so behind the leaders, and it was fine, you know. I was just trying to get my rhythm, because in the end, like when it started pouring rain, the main goal was just to make the jumps, like not crash and not get stuck anywhere. And then, yeah, Jeffrey had a bike issue. And on the last lap, I started last lap and I see, looks maybe a green bike. It was difficult to tell. So I did a jump and I looked. I was like, I think that's Romain. So that's for 2nd place. So I tried to push a bit. I actually passed him. He passed me back. And then I lost some time. I was like, okay, top 3 is good in the mud. And then just few corners to go, he had the crash. I was like, oh, thank you. That's good, you know. So, yeah, it was a quite difficult one. I think even the first moto was more difficult than the second race.
Well, obviously, going into race 2, you've just finished 2nd in the first race. And in the back of your mind, you know with another good result, a podium is possible at the very least. So how were the nerves going into that second race? And what were your thoughts? Because I'm guessing probably the focus on the start was, you know, massive, and probably in the back of your mind, just don't mess up. Don't mess up the start. What were you thinking going into that second race?
No, actually, obviously, I didn't have any extra stress or extra pressure or whatever. I just try to go out there and do my best, and I think that really helped, you know. And maybe you saw in the second moto, I got a spin in the start.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, now it's over. And then 2 corners later, I'm second. Okay, it's working, you know. So and then after that, it was just survival, you know, stay up on the 2 wheels, not make any mistakes. And then, you know, like you guys were filming me whole last lap, and everyone texted me and called me, hey, you had some stress on the last lap. I say not really stress, but I was just going so slow. So if I have a tip, if I want to crash, that I can put my feet out. So I think it was difficult to go slower than that.
Actually, there was no rain in the second race. So were conditions better in that second race, or were they hard? You know, or were they better in the first race? Because when it continues to rain, you have the ground is more, you know, loose and forgiving.
Yeah.
Whereas when it stops raining, it becomes a lot more sticky. So conditions better in race 2 or race 1?
I think overall the conditions were better in race 2. Of course, it got more sticky in the end of the moto, so some parts are more difficult and also more heavy for the bike, for the clutch and everything. But just overall, the first race was really difficult with the water because there was a lot of standing water on the track. So in some places you couldn't see where you need to go, and just in the deep ruts, I just put the feet out and hope that there is nothing under it.
Yeah.
You just cannot see, and it was pure water. So it was also important just to save the bike a little bit.
Well, you mentioned that final lap, Pauls. Just how nervous were you in that final lap, just knowing that that GP win was there for the taking?
Yeah, I wouldn't say nervous, but of course there was some cautious. Let's say cautious, not nervous, but very cautious, maybe too cautious, to be honest. But also the thing was like the mechanic, he never put on the board how far is that 3rd place. So I was like, yeah, because I knew that at one moment Romeo was behind me. So if he would pass me, I would lose the overall. So I was not sure who is behind me and really how far he is. So I was like, oh, how fast I can go, what I need to do. And so actually maybe in the end it was good. So when I came over the finish, I looked back and said, it was just there. So it was fine.
But also going over the finish line, back to your team, that must have just been an incredible moment for you with that GP victory.
Yeah, for sure. And even like, let's be honest, like when I crossed the finish, I wasn't 100% sure that I won the GP because, okay, I saw Tim crash in the first lap in the start, but yeah, maybe he was 3rd because in the mud everything is possible. And then I looked back and I saw Tundell. I was like, yes. Then I knew it was real. So.
And you went for a little swim to celebrate, didn't you?
Yeah. Also, like, funny thing, like I said, yeah, I jump in the water, I jump in the mud, but there was nowhere like a deep mud around. Just the track was underwater, but just around the podium is just like this much water. So I was like, yeah, what's going on?
Belly flop.
Yeah, it was real. The pictures were amazing.
Yeah.
My full face in mud and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, I saw you. I think you'd had a picture with Liam, you know, because you both won the GP. And then when you came back to the truck, I was already talking to Cornelius. And you relived the moment that you heard somebody doing a big panic rev.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, oh, who's that? And then you saw Cornelius and you were like, you were 3? And he was like, yeah, what, you were 3? And he was like, yeah. And you were like this,
Yeah.
you know. And I just thought, a day for the little guys today because,
Yes.
you know, Jens had a good ride in MX2.
Yeah.
Obviously, Cornelius, you know, you guys are a private team. Effectively, you know, so fantastic day and great to see that enthusiasm from both of you.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, like I cross the finish line and then I go over that next step up and I hear someone revving the bike, so someone is happy. And then I look back and I'm like, I show him your 3rd. He said yes. I was like, cool. Huh?
Yeah.
So it was really nice because, like you said, not so many times like small teams can be up front like a private team. So that shows, you know, like that also. Yeah, it's possible that teams were hard to be there.
Cool. And obviously in commentary I said it was 6 years, but actually 5 years, 11 months. 2,163 days since your last Grand Prix victory, or thereabouts. Matchley Base in the middle of 2018.
Yeah, in July, I think, August or something. So good things come in time, huh, they say.
A long time between drinks.
Yes. Yeah, it's been a while. Like, because obviously, of course, at one moment you think like, yeah, will happen again because like, yeah, like, you know, the level in MXGP is so high and last year's has been really difficult. So, but when you go back on the top step, you're like, yeah, this is why I do it. You know, that's the feeling. Like nothing else matters. You know, like just that feeling when you see everyone happy. Like, yeah, that's the best. That's the best.
Perfect. Well, look, we've got your trainer coming in next, so it'll be interesting to get his views on the race. But good to see you. Great Grand Prix last weekend for you and everybody at the base, you know, in Belgium, of course, everybody that comes week in, week out, you know, the whole crew. And, yeah, onwards and upwards, I guess, from here.
Yeah, that's
the
a goal.
plan.
That's the plan. That's the plan. Hopefully many more to come.
Yeah, good job. Well, look, congratulations last week. Pauls Jonass, we are out of time. But, yeah, we'll see you on the racetrack a little later on today.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you.
Pauls.
Cool. Well, as I mentioned, our final guest is getting ready to come and join us, Stefan Everts. But before that, more from behind the gate. This one from the latest episode, La Dolce Vita, from Trentino. Here's MXGP action. Prado swings to the outside, and he will have the inside line going into turn 2. We've got riders down, but it is Febvre who leads the way. He wants to do the repeat here and win this ramp qualifying race here. And Prado, well, tell you what, didn't expect that, did he? A little bit tentative here in the early stage of this race. Prado looks like he's in cruise mode here because Jonass is going to go round. Has he got an issue, Prado? Yeah, he's looking down. Oh, he's lost his seat. He's lost his seat. So Jorge Prado is going to have to ride through this one without a seat. Keep a calm head, but that is going to be costly. They'll just tape it on. Look, they're not going to, well, it's easier to screw it on probably. Just tape it on, get him through the race. The number 3 Kawasaki Racing Team rider will cross the line victorious in the MXGP ramp qualifying race here in Trentino. And Jorge Prado will be going to the line in 17th as it stands right now. And the seat has come off again on the final lap. More drama here for Jorge Prado. Yeah, furious. Furious. Hello everyone, welcome back to our live studio show here on MXGP TV. It's round 6. We're at the MXGP of Galicia, northwestern Spain, with me, Paul Malin, and Lisa Lane. We've got our final guest in now, of course, Stefan Everts, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, the legend, SE72. Great to see you in here, and yeah, before we start talking Portugal and everything that happened there, when was the last time you had a mud race in your racing career, and was it as bad as last weekend?
Oh, then I need to dig deep in my mind. When was the last one?
Maybe there was one in 06, I don't know.
I'm not sure. I think we had pretty clean year that year.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the most big races that people remember is Vauxhall 98 when it was the big mud race. No one got up the hill, everyone got stuck, and I just waited in the bottom and checked out the right line, and I just made it. I think if the fans know one of my biggest wins, it's of course that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I was there. I got 4th in the first race that day. I think I did something similar. Yeah, no, it was actually for me. But I remember doing the same thing, just stopping at the bottom of the hill. And I think I was the last guy that made it over the hill, probably on the same lap, actually. And then they red flagged it. So, yeah, horrible conditions. Different conditions here, though, this weekend. Sun's out. That's a good start. And what are your first impressions of the track here in Lugo?
Well, it looks really nice here in the forest. I think the dirt looks also pretty good. It's a little bit sandy. It can take a bit of water, more water than Portugal last week. But yeah, we have the sun out and conditions are looking really good. A lot of jumps. Maybe the last section is maybe too many jumps, my opinion, my personal opinion. But the rest looks some technical turns, some sketchy big doubles. Because of the sand, you know, makes some ruts and stuff. But yeah, that's motocross.
Well, in the last few years, we've been to Sardinia, Madrid, Villars, and now we're here. How important is it, do you think, for us to go to these new venues for the calendar?
Yeah, I think it's important, you know, in some ways. Okay, we have classic venues where we should keep going because the crowd loves the venues.
Like a Majora, for instance.
Like a Majora, for example, Lommel. Yeah. But, you know, sometimes there needs to be a new one, and this one looks fine. Looks a bit far away, a little bit here in the corner of Spain. The landscape looks more like France for me, or it doesn't look really like being in Spain here. But no, we are here to race, and I think we will see some great racing over the weekend.
Okay, well, how was last weekend for you, Stefan? Because Liam won all 3 races under really difficult conditions. But how were your emotions, particularly in that second race, watching Liam?
But all weekend, my emotions was very stressful. I know what can happen at any moment, any minute on the track. You know, even though Liam looked really much in control. I still was afraid, you know, for that one little mistake to go off the track and or even have a DNF with the bike, you know. On the second moto, we had a lot of water. Anything was possible. So I was full on stress till this checkered flag of the second moto, and then of course I was very emotional. I was really enjoying I'm still enjoying today, you know, about what he have done last weekend. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Well, so many people have commented after last weekend how very, very similar your riding style and now Liam's riding styles were, and I guess that was more obvious last weekend given the conditions. You know, he was stood up on the pegs, riding the track, not racing the track, you know, because obviously racing those conditions can be a problem because you make too many mistakes. It's like we went back 18 years in time, you know, to when you were riding like this in these kind of conditions.
Yeah, he impressed me. I know he have this capability of doing this. I know how talented he is since he was a young kid. But really to see it finally on the racetrack and to be so calm all weekend and just right on his best on the technique. Also something that I've learned from day one, you know, learn to be on the foot pegs and learn to balance your bike. And last weekend he just showed it, and yeah, it's goosebumps. It was goosebumps for me, and it's so unbelievable how we are lookalikes. You know, it's strange that you give the DNA to your kid and it looks the same. It's just unbelievable.
I think Pat Stott on Instagram posted an image 18 years later, you know, like of you in the similar corner, maybe the same corner, body language exactly the same. Uncanny, like not normal.
Yeah, it's really, really crazy. I'm a very, very proud father to see that. You know, we've worked many years for that. I mean, all the parents out there in the paddock, you know, they dream of having their kid race like this, and I'm the same parent, you know. I'm just like them, and we've worked also hard to get here. We try to do it in the best possible way. Of course, we have more knowledge than other parents out there, but even though for us it's not been easy, especially for Liam, having the name on the back, not only from the father but also the grandfather. It's not been easy all the time for him, and I'm very happy for him too, the effort he's been putting in. Also, of course, he have a great team around him with a lot of great people, which are also part of this success.
Obviously, it was his first time winning all 3 races in the weekend, so the Ram qualifier, doing a double as well on the Sunday. That was the first time. And winning back-to-back Grand Prix from, you know, Trentino to Portugal. How much of a massive confidence boost has that been? Have you seen a shift in his personality in the last kind of, you know, week or so?
Well, I mean, it's in a way a boost, but he's very realistic, and he knows that every weekend is a new weekend. It's a new track and new conditions, and we start from zero. And he really knows that. It's not that you won 3 motos in Portugal that you come here and you're gonna do the same. He's very down to earth on that, and he knows he needs to fight again really hard this weekend to try and be on the podium.
Yeah. Well, capping off an already brilliant weekend for you in Portugal, Pauls Jonass, who you now train, he picked up his first ever overall MXGP win. That must have been a special moment for you as well.
Yeah, I mean, Pauls, we go a long way back when he went to KTM in 2015. So I worked with him already closely in those years, and he's a very, very good kid. You know, he's a man in the meantime, and he's been coming from a really difficult period. You know, he had a lot of big crashes, a lot of difficult days, races, you know, years behind him. And last year we've done already a big part of the job to get him a little bit back on track and try and get some confidence back in him and calm him down. And try to enjoy his riding again. And you know, we all start riding our bikes because it's fun. And if you lose the fun, that's fundamental, you know.
Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest part, to get really the fun back while riding. And that was one of the biggest step for him also to learn to do again.
Yeah.
And of course, I was also proud to see him win his first MXGP. I couldn't believe it. I was hoping for a podium this year because we know he's racing for a top 5 this year. You know, Tim and Jome and Jorge, you know, and Jeffrey, they are too fast. They are just too fast for the moment for him. And but the condition last week made it possible, and he did, and not only with the podium but with the overall win. So it was a super weekend.
One more question, and really fast because we're almost out of time.
Yeah, just very quickly. If you can race anybody from today's era or a rider in the past, who would it be, and why?
You know, I would like to race my father.
I was going to say either
that.
Harry or Roger de Costa.
I love that.
No, my dad.
Yeah,
Nice.
No.
that would be great to see all three of you on the
He
track.
was a fantastic teacher, and yeah, he had a different style on me completely, also than Liam. I would have liked to kick his ass.
Harry, over to you. Well, look, Stefan, great to have you in, and I like the answer to the last question, but we are out of time. But you can join us on MXGP TV a little later on today. Of course, we've got WMX Back in Action 125, presented by FMF Racing, coming up as well. And of course, the RAM qualifying races in MX2 and MXGP. Well, that's it. We are out of time. We'll see you next week when we go to the MXGP of France at Saint-Jean-d'Angely. Thanks for watching. Thanks to our guests. We'll see you then. Bye for now.